standard TSD question based upon proportionality. In a car race, A beats B by 45 kilometers. So let's take distance covered in some time t. Uh, Length of race L le lo. He beats B by 45, means when A completed the race, B is 45 behind. And B beats C by 50 kilometers. So when B completed the race, then C is 50 kilometers behind. Let's say some distance covered D1 in time taken T1. Okay? And the time is constant. And then it says that A beats C by 90 kilometers. So when A has completed the race at L, C is 90 kilometers behind. Okay? Now the main point that you have to note is that in both of these cases, time is constant. When time is constant, then distance is proportional to speed. ठीक है, समझ में आया? Time is constant. This particular time in which B and C are covering certain distances. So ratio of speeds of B and C will be proportional to ratio of distances that they are covering. So distances by B, so time t hai, distances by B and C, L minus 45, L minus 90. And for time t1, distances covered by B and C are L upon L minus 50. We have to find L. Either you cross multiply and solve it, or you can use the options and see LHS equal to RHS kab hai. For example, A part, when you put 550, 550 minus 45 is 505, 550 minus 90 is 460. And 550 upon 500. So ये ratio जो है, 0 cancel, 11 upon 10. Obviously LHS is not 11 upon 10. Let's try C part, because C part is an easy option to try. 500 minus 45 is 455 and 500 minus 90 is 410. Either 500 upon 450. Again यहाँ पे 45 से गया, sorry 50 से गया 10 upon 9. LHS 10 upon 9 तो नहीं लग रहा. 5 से cancel out करो, you'll get 91 upon 82. So then we'll try D part, which looks nice and friendly. 450 minus 45 is 405 and upon 360 यहाँ पे 450 upon 400. ठीक है, तो ये आपका गया 45 से 9 टाइम्स, 45 से 8 टाइम्स, एंड यहाँ पे 0 कैंसिल, 5 से गया 9 टाइम्स एंड 8 टाइम्स. द रेशियो इज नाउ मैचिंग, देयरफॉर डी पार्ट बिकम्स योर राइट आंसर. बट द मेन पार्ट इज जो पहले हुआ था, दैट टाइम वॉज कॉन्स्टेंट, सो रेशियो ऑफ स्पीड्स ऑफ बी एंड सी वर रेशियो ऑफ स्पीड डिस्टेंसेज ऑफ बी एंड सी, एंड दैट इज द क्वेश्चन. Is a geometry question. Depending upon how you solve it, it might be very easy. From the interior point of an equilateral triangle, perpendiculars are drawn on all the sides. Sum of the lengths is S. कोई तो एक point है, they are not specifying it. So let me choose a point of my interest. So the point of my interest that I will take is the incenter. Incenter is the center of the circle inside the triangle, and in center से जो आप perpendiculars बनाते हो वो in radius होता है, that is small r. ठीक है, and let the side of the triangle be A. Now I need to write down area of the triangle. Area of the triangle will be half into A into R, which is one of these triangles, half base altitude. And ऐसे आपके पास तीन triangles है, this is the first one, second one and third one. राइट, सो इंटू 3 कर दिया मैंने. डिड यू सी दिस? ये इंटू 3 हो चुका. ठीक है, सो नाउ 3r की जगह s रख दो एंड a अपॉन 2. नाउ आई नीड a इन टर्म्स ऑफ s, राइट? एंड व्हाट इज a? a इज द साइड, एंड द इन रेडियस स्मॉल r का फॉर्मूला इन एन इक्विलैटरल ट्राइंगल इज नोन टू अस. That formula by memory, or as mentioned in the classes, is side of triangle divided by 2 root 3, and small r is of course what? 3r is s, so r is s upon 3. That's all. So now thoda sa simplify karo, simplify and then get a in terms of s, that is 2s upon root 3, and put it back. Instead of a, put 2s upon root 3, and your 2 will get cancelled. You get s square divided by root 3 as your answer. That is C part. So this has become a very, very easy question, because we just chose the point according to our interest, because it was not violating any conditions given in the question. Answer is C part. This is a fairly tough question with maxima minima involved. You have a group of 10 students. Mean of the lowest 9 scores is 42. Say if I write down the total score T, हाईएस्ट स्कोर को अगर मैं h ले लूँगा then the remaining scores will be 9 into 42 because mean of the lowest 9 scores, and of course it is not mentioned if all the scores are distinct. And while the mean of the highest 9 scores is 47, so if I take the lowest score as L, then highest 9 scores ka total becomes 9 into 47. If you subtract this, you get h minus L is equal to 47 minus 42 common 5 into 9 45. For the entire group of 10 students, the maximum possible mean exceeds the minimum possible mean by. So for maximum possible mean, I need the maximum possible value for t. And in order to maximize t, I should have h and L should also be maximized as large as possible. So out of, and h and L are connected, I just need one of them. So which one can I maximize out of h and L? If you will check carefully over here, for example in this equation, h is fixed and the remaining people have an average of 42. So the highest value of L that I can take is 42. Because for example, if I give L 41, then somebody over here will, among the remaining 9, will get a 43, right? So आपने L को कम कर दिया, whereas you want to maximize L. So the largest possible value of L will be 42. When you put L 42, you will get H from this equation as 87. Quickly find out the value of T by putting it back, put H 87 in this equation, and average will be divided by 10. Do your calculations. 87 plus 378 upon 10, you will get a 46.5 as the maximum possible value for mean. Now when I want the minimum possible total, then H and L need to be smallest possible. Smallest possible values for H and L, then I try to think what is the smallest value that I can give. For example, over here L is unknown. Smallest value of H that I can give is now 47, because if I give 48, I am disobeying my own instructions because I have to minimize. If I give 48, that is possible, and somebody else will get a 46, right, among the remaining people. So the high minimum possible value for H turns out to be 47. And as soon as you substitute H as 47, you get L as 2. 47 minus 2 is 45. Again, put H back into the original equation as 47, and you get your average value as 42.5. Subtract maximum and minimum possible mean, you get 4 as the right answer for this question, and it was quite a challenging question, hardly possible to do this in the exam in under 4-5 minutes with confidence. 100 question on special equations where you have to find the number of integral solutions, and this one is not very difficult. X greater than equal to y greater than equal to minus 20 is required. Write down your equation and try to get the first solution as soon as possible. So I need to create a multiple of 5 over here so that I can get y as an integer. Immediately it strikes me, let me put x equal to 2. So 2 2s are 4, 95 minus 99 minus 4 is 95. 95 upon 5 is now 19. Now I know that for this particular kind of equation, as covered before in the special equations concepts, ax plus by equal to c, x is inversely proportional to y, and over here x is currently not bigger than y, so I need to get to those values where x is bigger than y. So if the coefficient of x, if the value for x is going to increase by coefficient of y, that's 5. I mean, it's all covered in the concepts. अगर ये +5 होगा तो यहाँ पे -2 हो जाएगा because it is inversely proportional. Increase will be coefficient of y, and over here decrease will be coefficient of x to get 7 and 17. But still this is not matching x greater than equal to y, so I continue. +5 -2, it's still not matching. +5 -2. For the first time, x is greater than equal to y greater than equal to -20. 17 13. Now I continue. 22 11, and now I know that always x will be greater than or equal to y. तो अब y को बस कम करते जाओ, -2 13 11 9 7 5 and so on up till -1 will be the last value. I'm sorry, -19, because after minus 19 you'll get minus 21, and that is not acceptable, right? So now it's an AP. Just count the number of solutions ending at 13, starting from minus 19. A plus n minus 1 into d, common difference of 2. Solve, get the value of n. N turns out to be 17 is your right answer for this question. Now, this is a log question based upon basic properties, but it is also using an algebra property, a very common one from somewhere else. So let's just separate out the argument and the base. So a log a minus log b ho jayega. Argument is a. Same for the other case. Log b minus log a. Argument is b. ठीक है? So log a base a is 1. Log b base b is 1. And over here what I will do is that I will interchange the argument and the base. We know that if you interchange the argument and the base, then reciprocal is created. And then I want to show you why have I done this, right? So 1 plus 1 2 ho gaya, and then minus common, log b base a plus 1 upon log b base a. And what does this remind you of? Does this structure remind you of something? It will be reminding you of am greater than equal to gm. So x plus 1 upon x has to be greater than or equal to 2. Okay, for this particular scenario. So if you are taking 2 minus a value that is greater than or equal to 2, your result is going to be equal to less than or equal to 0, right? 2 minus 2 0, and अगर आपने 2 minus 3 किया तो minus 1 बन जाएगा. So it is less than equal to 0. So the values that are possible are less than equal to 0. So less than equal to 0 में A, C, D are possible, but B is not possible. The answer is B part for this question. Alright, again this is a tougher question based upon pure algebra, because you don't have, it's not a basic question to form equations and solve. So you have a GP, mth term is 3 by 4. So formula is AR power m minus 1, R is common ratio, which is 3 by 4. Then you have the nth term is AR power n minus 1, which is 12. So therefore what is now happening is that n is greater than m, right? N is turning out to be greater than m. So what I am going to do now is that I'm just going to divide these two particular expressions. 12 divided by 3 by 4. 3 gets cancelled 4 times, 16. When I divide these two terms, I should be getting a 16. And when you divide the LHS, A will get cancelled over here. So you'll get r to the power n minus 1 minus of m plus 1, which is r to the power n minus m. Okay? Now r to the power n minus m, what happens now is that you need the smallest possible value for r plus n minus m, and n minus m is a positive integer because n is greater than m, right? Now you understand why I did 12 upon 3 by 4. Because power I need as an integer, because now it is very easy to write 16 as something to the power integer. What is 16 to the power integer? Sorry, what is 16 as something to the power integer? It can be plus minus 2 to the power 4, or it can be plus minus 4 to the power 2, or it could be 16 power 1. 16 as something to the power integer. Okay, all of these are equal to 16. I need the smallest possible value for r plus n minus m. R plus n minus m, basically add the base and the power. Add the base and the power. So obviously I will not do 2 plus 4. I will do minus 2 plus 4 because I want a smaller value. Right? So minus 2 plus 4 is 2. It is there in the options. But minus 4 plus 2 is minus 2. It is an even better answer. And over here you have 16 plus 1, 17. So minus 4 plus 2, minus 2 becomes the right answer for the smallest value for this particular question. Again, lovely question, not very difficult but still challenging in exam scenarios. A question on maxima minima, very simple. X plus y is 102 and you have to find the minimum value of something. There are only two scenarios possible. Right? Either the values will be very close to each other or they will be far away from each other. Let's try far away from each other, and they are positive real numbers. मान लो x is just more than 0, smallest value just more than 0, and therefore y will be just less than 102. If x is just more than 0, then 1 upon an infinitely small value will now become infinity. So you will get 2601 into infinity. ये पूरा आपका value infinity हो जाएगा. But we don't want to maximize this value. We want to minimize this value. Right? So the values will either be close to each other or far away. Far away आपने try कर लिया. अब करो close to each other. Close to each other means equal. 51, 51. So that has to be your answer. There's no other possibility. 2601, 51 डालो, 52 upon 51 to 52 upon 51, either close to each other or far away. 51 square is 2601, 52 square is 2704, and 2704 is therefore the right answer for this question. Next question is a standard SI-CI question where difference of CI and SI is given as 1125. CI for 2 years at 5%, SI for 3 years at 3% is 1125. You will notice that the rate is different, and very often actually the rate is the same. यहाँ पे different पड़ रहा है. So what is compound interest for 2 years? From theory we know I can write it as 2PR plus PR square. Instead of R, I'll write R1 to indicate 5%, right? And what is the interest for 3 years? Simple interest. Simple interest is PR. For 3 years becomes 3PR. And I'll write it as R2 to indicate a different interest rate of 3%, which is equal to now 1125. And what is this R? Capital R is basically my abbreviation, short form for writing small r upon 100. It's just a notation, nothing technical or fancy about it. Isme you can substitute the rates 2 into, what is the first rate? 5 upon 100, 0.05, and 0.05 square. Substitute the second rate, 3 upon 100, 0.3 into 3 upon 100 over here. Okay, and this is equal to 1125. You have to find out the principal. So just solve this. You can solve the bracket using a calculator. You'll get 0.0125 and equal to 1125. So just divide them. 1125 upon 0.0125 is 90,000 is your answer for the principal. And that is the question. Question on geometry. There is a circle of radius 5 meters. Center is at O. Let PQ be a chord passing through A and B. A is 4 meters north of O. So make north of O, that is A. B is 3 meters east of O. East of O, make B. And of course, there's a right angle. Connecting them, you get your chord PQ. Yeah, आपका chord आ गया PQ, and obviously you have a right angle in the middle, ठीक है, because it's going to be your north and east. Now find the length of PQ. So let us create, of course, when you draw 3, 4, 5 Pythagorean triplet, AB is now 5. Let us now draw the altitude over here. In triangle AOB, draw the altitude H, and let us now find H. ठीक है, इसको थोड़ा सा neatly रख देते हैं. That is your 5. ठीक है, so your OC is now H. Now area of triangle AOB, half base 3 altitude 4 is equal to half altitude H base AB, which is 5. इससे आपका H आ जाएगा. Area triangle AOB, H turns out to be 2.4. Now I join OP in red color, and in triangle POC it is now a right angle triangle. So OP square is equal to H square plus PC square, and PC we will double to get our answer. Put in your values. OP is 5, H is 2.4. Get PC. PC, when you just simplify this, you will get PC as root of 19.24. Use a calculator, and that turns out to be approximately 4.4. So PQ becomes double of PC, and that is 8.8 is the right answer, and that is C part. Algebra question, if you were able to figure out what to do over here. What you do is just take the x down to the denominator. When you take the x down, it becomes 1 by x. Now take 1 by x inside the square root, it becomes 1 by x square. So when you get dividing the denominator by x square, you get 1 by x square plus x square. We've seen this before. Number plus its reciprocal is always greater than or equal to 2. If you wish to maximize this expression, you need to minimize the denominator. Minimum value of the denominator is of course root ke under 2. The answer is 1 upon root 2. Standard profit and loss question, maybe slightly long. You have 12 toys and labels each of them with some same selling price. So we'll call that a marked price, actually ready for sale. Sells 8 toys at a 20% discount. So initial discount, let marked price be M. Initial discount is 20%, and he sells remaining toys at an additional 25% on the discounted price. So this is successive percentage change, 20 and 25 successively. Use the formula. Minus 20 minus 25 plus product upon 100 gives you an overall value of 40%. Overall 40% discount is being provided for the remaining 4 articles. And now in order to avoid decimals, let me take marked price per product as 10M actually. Okay, now so 8 articles sold for 20% discount, that means 8M. 10M reduced by 20% becomes 8M, and remaining 4 articles 40% discount becomes 6M, have now been sold for 2112 rupees. Okay, and this is also equal to SP is equal to 10% profit. 10% means 110%, 1.1 into the cost price for 12 articles. 12 into, let cost price per article be C. With no discounts, his percentage profit would have been, find the mark price, no discount, give no discount, find the cost price and find the percentage change. Let's find M first. So 8 8s are 64 plus 24 is 88. 2112 divided by 88 turns out to be 24, and 10M turns out to be 240. Per article marked price is 240 rupees. Take C, 2112 divided by 1.1 and 12, do your calculations, you will get 160 rupees. So 160 is sold for 240 is a profit of 80 rupees on a cost price of 160 rupees. That's a 50% profit, and the answer is B part. Straightforward, easy question, slightly lengthy, but easy. Basic and standard algebra question. X and y are non-negative integer numbers, and when x and y are integers, then z also becomes an integer, because x plus 9 is z, y plus 1 is z. And there's an inequality given, x plus y less than z plus 5. So x becomes z minus 9 and y becomes z minus 1. Okay? Substitute it into your original equation. X is z minus 9, y is z minus 1 is less than z plus 5. Z gets cancelled. So you basically get z is less than 15. Now z is less than 15. Find the maximum value of 2x plus y. Maximum will be when x and y are also maximum. And x and y are maximum, x and y are connected to z. So for example, z less than 15 is an integer. Let me take 14. When z is 14, y becomes 13. When z is 14, y becomes 5. Let me take another example, a smaller example. If z is 10, y becomes 9. If z is 10, x becomes 1. So it's becoming smaller. Smaller values of z are giving smaller values of x and y. So I just take the largest case, which is the first one. So 2x plus y, maximum value becomes x is 5 and y is 13, and your answer is 23. And that is the question. This is a standard 3-set Venn diagram question. You might be intimidated by it initially because of maxima minimum, but actually it's very, very simple. So students in a college have to choose at least 2 subjects from chemistry, maths and physics. Let's have chemistry, maths and physics. And at least 2 subjects will mean that none will become 0, and exactly 1, exactly only chemistry, only maths, only physics will become 0. All 3 is 18, and choosing maths as one of their subjects is 23, right? So it means this whole thing is 23. You have an 18 and 0 over here, means these 2 missing regions now become 5. Ye dono, these 2 have a grand total of 5. And physics as one of their subjects is 25. Total physics is 25, 18 and 0 over here, so these two values now become 7. And now we can focus on what we want to calculate. Smallest value inside chemistry as one of their subjects. I want to minimize these two values over here, so obviously wherever possible I'll take smallest possible value, so I'll probably put a 0 over here, right? Smallest value possible is a 0, so let me go with a 0 over here. So this missing region now becomes a 5. And when the sum of these two is 7, out of this 5 is over here, so the last value becomes a 2. So chemistry becomes 18 plus 2, 20 is the right answer for this particular question. So it has now turned out to be a fairly straightforward question, but possibly intimidating at first glance.